It's a pretty remarkable difference. So let me show you exactly what I'm doing. Multiband compressors can be really intimidating for a lot of different people. There's so many knobs, so many functions. How do you know if you set it up right? So in this video today, I'm going to teach you exactly how I dial in a multiband compressor to make a muddy, dark sounding vocal sound bright, modern, and crisp. This is going to be a great video today. Be sure to watch this all the way to the end. Now, if you need more help getting your vocals to sound professional, I have a free downloadable ebook that has my favorite vocal delay secrets. So if you combine what you learn in this video on how to use a multiband compressor to make your vocals sound nice and airy, and all those tricks for getting lush vocal delays, you're going to have some amazing sounding vocals. All right, this session is by an artist called Kester that I've worked with previously. This is a massive rock ballad. So here is our lead vocal.
Remember, move at your own steadfast pace.
Now that's after I used the multiband compressor. Check out what it sounded like when it came in.
From my mistakes, dust on and move on. Breaking.
And with the compressor,
The type of person I've become was built to keep you strong.
it adds the air that everybody is going for with a modern vocal sound. So how do I do that? I'm using Waves C6 to do this. You could probably use any multiband compressor to do something similar. This is just my favorite. The reason I like this compressor over others is because you get a standard multiband compressor shape, right? We have 4 bands that cover the whole frequency range, but then you have these 2 additional bands that just kind of can be placed anywhere over the mix if you need to clean up the audio a little bit more. I love to have one available for like harsh frequencies that are on 2 to 4K for vocals, and then another one right here just to really tighten up any muddy frequencies that might happen around 150 to 300 hertz in the vocal range. In this song, I actually do not use these additional bands, so they are bypassed. You can see by that button being clicked. How do I dial this in? I have the low band at around 100 hertz, and I take all of the volume and just turn it basically down to -18 or as low as possible. This gets rid of all the rumble in the vocal. Okay, and you can adjust this filter right here. Just find a sweet spot where the vocal still has a nice body to it and some power, but you want to get rid of all the extra stuff beyond that. Then I have a band set up around 1.5 to 2K for the mid-range. So this is going to cover any of like the muddy frequencies and a little bit of the presence. And then the high band I have set to about 10K. So this band is going to be the presence and the articulation of the voice. And then everything above that, everything from about 9 or 10K and up is going to be the air component of the voice. So to get this airy vocal that is crisp and not muddy, start by bypassing the high frequency bands. And then let's just focus on taking out the mud from the vocal. Okay, so if I set this to 0, basically we're just going to pull this range knob down. This is going to set how much we're going to be able to take out of the voice. So we want to have it somewhere between like -5 and -12 or something, depending on how muddy the vocal is. And then we're just going to really pull this threshold slider all the way down into the voice so it's almost always engaged. Okay, this is going to bob up and down with the voice, and then make sure that the bass frequencies in the mud is held at a consistent level the entire time.
You are dauntless,
Without
out
it?
of place.
It has a little bit of this like wah, 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 kind of sound to it. That's all that 200, 300 hertz that we need to get rid of.
Remember, move at your own steadfast pace.
When we bite into it really aggressively like that, it takes all that out, but the problem is now it sounds kind of hollow. Now what we do is we back off on the range and we limit the maximum amount of bass that we're taking out of the voice.
You're free, follow nobody. Remember.
So like right around here, it has like a good balance where it still has the body, but it's not boomy, but it's very clean and crisp, okay? That is done. The next band. Now, what I like to do here is actually boost this up a lot. This is going to be my tonal shaping knob, okay? This is going to give the voice presence and clarity. And then if it gets too bright, that's where this threshold slider comes in, okay? So we're going to have it catch any of the sharpness that might happen from boosting this up. Okay, so let's start with it set to like -16 or something. And then a pretty fast attack and release, okay? And then we're going to just start riding up this gain here.
Follow nobody. Remember, you're changing me.
So right here is where the voice starts getting piercing. This is where we're going to pull that threshold down and then clean up those sharp sounds.
Remember, move at your own steadfast pace. You're afraid, follow nobody.
Right there, it's got a good setting where it's not piercing, but it stays bright and crispy and clear. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing for the top band right here. We'll put this at like minus 16, just like we did for this one. And then we'll put the threshold all the way up. And then we're just going to add in the air until we get to the right level just by dialing up the gain. Here we go.
Remember, move at your own steadfast pace. You're afraid, follow
much?
nobody. Remember.
Right around here, again, we're right at that threshold where it's starting to get kind of painfully bright. So now we pull this threshold down, and then we're going to take the edge off.
Boundless, out of place. Remember, move at your own steadfast pace. You're afraid, follow nobody.
Right there is perfect. This particular band, because if you pull too much of this out, you're going to give the vocalist a lisp. Not a good thing. Not a good thing. So check it out. Here's before
Was built to keep you strong.
and after.
You are dauntless, out of place. Remember, move at your own steadfast pace. You're afraid, follow nobody.
Now you can think of a multiband compressor as a way to keep the frequency balance very consistent in a vocal. Now if you were to use just a regular compressor, you're going to get control over the performance and the volume, not necessarily the frequency balance. Now, the next time you're working on vocals, try putting a multiband compressor on your vocal bus and then mixing them this way. If you need to do any touch-up with some really muddy frequencies, just grab an EQ, carve those out, and you should be good to go. You don't need hundreds of dollars in plugins to make vocals sound good. You just need to know how to use the tools that you have. Don't forget to grab that free download on my favorite vocal delay secrets ebook that's in the description. My name's Bobby Balo. I'm the mixing and mastering engineer at Raytown Productions, and I'll see you in another video.